look to see what species this could be.
Going for full.
Tilting up a little.
Based on my records for the area, this is probably in the genus Narella, one of probably 2 species in the area. We'll have to look at the depth range for some of these species.
Video's clear.
Pilot's clear.
Pilot, actually, before you move out, there's I think a tiny sea urchin right under the branch.
Right under, oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. Come on in, video. Try to get it centered up. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's like the smallest sea urchin and shrimp. It's like a tiny recruit.
Yeah, so
Up to include the brittle stuff.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Just hold this for a couple seconds.
I think I can attempt to put a species ID on this. Of course, this is only tentative, but this is in the depth range for Narella regularis, which looks pretty much identical to this at this point. Dichotomous branching, density of polyps, definitely in that range of that species, but at least we can say Narella for now.
Got a crab, I think, or something.
Possibly in the species regularis.
Something blowing. I thought that was walking.
Our depth now is 493 meters, and we're well within the depth range of that particular coral.
Here's another one.
Here.
Kind of looks like a Chrysogorgia, but
yeah,
it's like fluffy.
It looks dark, and like the axis is very thick. It's unusual. Usually Chrysogorgiids have a very thin, light, less thick axis, but we'll see what this is. I think this might be something else. This almost looks like, from this perspective, it could be a species of Acanthogorgia, possibly. It looks more like a plexaurid or Acanthogorgiid. From this perspective, the polyps are much more densely packed than a Chrysogorgiid. The axis is not right either, nor is the branching, but based on the woody texture and flexibility of the stem, I would say Acanthogorgiid or plexaurid would be a better guess. My gut is telling me to go with Acanthogorgia here, based on the coloration of the polyps, yellow and white. Of course, it's just an estimation at this point. We need to collect a sample to do a good species level identification, but very nice, Pilot, thanks. Dark axis, light polyps, usually for Acanthogorgia. Is that another of those tunicates? They're huge.
Yeah. Huh.
We're a little bit deeper than yesterday, about 200 meters now. A little bit over 200 meters deeper than when we finished our dive yesterday. So we're still getting a pretty strong influence of species distributions from deep waters, deep water corals. Hence we're seeing a lot of deep water plexaurids like Acanthogorgia, as well as primnoids, which are much deeper water species.
There's something at, I think, 4 o'clock?
Yeah, you can.
Where is that? Oh, maybe that's a crinoid.
Thruster is doing
Yeah, it might be just a crinoid.
50% on all of
Looked
them.
like it was crawling.
This is exciting. I was expecting to see kind of scoured really current scoured bottom with not a lot of attached. We usually think that if the current's sometimes too high in an area that it can prohibit larvae from settling, but seeing the corals that we've seen so far, you know, they're not massive, but
Copy.
they are here, and they are here in
Sure.
pretty decent densities
Good at 115.
and a diversity as well.
Actually, maybe. Yeah,
Still,
115
sponges tend to dominate. Stylastrids are dominating the
Bridge doesn't have.
abundance of fauna at this site.
You
But we-
can see that they're all facing the same direction. Seems like this is the predominant current direction in this
Yeah.
area.
Absolutely.
But just heads up. You're near the end of your tether. Looks like current might be pushing it back, so you're a little less than normal.
Yeah, it looks almost identical to this one. No, reported from
Current's pushing it
600
back to
meters,
less than normal.
so it's entirely reasonable that it
Pushing
could
it
be
back
like
underneath
this
me.
dichotomous branching. This one also, but the depth
Currently-
distribution is
current
much
wasn't
deeper
pushing it, you
for
get
this
a little
species.
More to deal with, but I think it's steadily pulling it away.
So
From the
purple
rear.
or dark whip.
looks
left
like-
of lasers diagonal.
Okay. Copilot says that I'm low on tether, so we're getting a ship move in now. I'll be over there in a minute or two. You can snap from here if you want. Get an idea of what it is if you want to go over there.
Oh, looks like a black coral.
I'm gonna cycle your tail cam, if that's right.
Oh, very similar to those black corals we were seeing yesterday. Possibly parentopathes or stylopathes.
See if it's of interest.
Yeah. What's up? Oh no. Yeah, I just see something swimming over here.
And probably
Oh yeah, there's like a fish at 11 o'clock, I think.
There's a sea star right there.
Yeah, snap in real quick video. I think there's a fish right here. Hold that. Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like one of those green eyes.
another green eye. Okay.
Here's the soft coral that we collected. It looks like we collected the other day, or something similar. It's like branching.
I would say so, yeah. We can identify it with a snap zoom after the fish. I think that's Acanthogorgia as well. I wouldn't put it past that these are the Acanthogorgia species we're seeing here.
Oh, look at this small little sea star. There's a lot of like small recruits. The sea urchin and the sea star.
Video's clear.
Okay. There's a
Oh,
coral
fish.
there.
Oh, fish.
This one here, is this one you were trying to confirm for the coral?
The yellow,
Yes.
yeah. I think all we would need is a quick snap. Yeah, that's definitely the same one.
Okay.
Thanks.
Next video.
So-
Get over to this black coral.
I know the other colony we thought was Acanthogorgia looked a little bit different, but might have been just modified growth by the current here. It's quite strong, growing in an irregular fashion. So we identified that previously on the ship a few days ago as Acanthogorgia aspera. So good to know that that's probably the same species in this area.
Getting close here. I'll let it settle out. Stand by on the zoom. Okay.
Just coming off. Actually, don't see him.
We're going to get a
Come on
closer
in,
look
yeah.
at this black coral. It's
Yeah, they're out.
very difficult to tell apart visually.
It looks like there's some branching towards the top.
Branching
Yeah.
towards the top.
Yeah.
Tough to see, right? So dense.
Yeah.
One of the branches may actually be coming out towards us.
Well,
That's my perspective, at least.
Yeah, that's what I also think. It's a small shrimp.
I think this is probably Stylopathes. Looks very similar to
Thank you, Bridge.
what's been
Move complete.
reported as Stylopathes from this area.
They look like snapping shrimp. Look at, they have the one of the big claws.
You want a shot of the base?
Huh.
I think that might be a squat lobster on the back or something else.
Yeah, I think they probably want a shot from a profile shot so we can see if there's a branch sticking out, as well as see if that squat lobster is of interest.
Yeah, I think this one right on top is looks like a snapping shrimp, which we haven't seen snapping shrimps right here. Huh.
Excellent. Just a couple of shrimp associates on that coral.
Sneaking around, see if I can get a shot of that. There's really a branch sticking out for you, as well as there might be a squat lobster video set on the backside. See if I can come around and get that. Tilting down. Up a little bit more. Yeah. Go. See the skids. Alright, video, come on in. This is the best I can do for this angle.
I can hear it.
Got a sponge right on my right side. I can't scoot any more over. I don't see any branch sticking out. I do see 2 squat lobsters maybe on there.
Yeah, that's good, pilot. I don't know if we're going to get any. I don't know if we're going to be able to tell if it's branching or not underneath the density of these polyps. So
Yeah.
we can move on there.
Okay. Next video.
Alright, laser's coming on.
Thanks, co-pilot.
Just above lasers, that white thing was moving.
I saw that. Trying to tell if it was just getting blown by the wind or if it was wiggling.
This looks like some sea urchin spines.
Oh yeah, it might be a snail whipping around.
There's maybe a hermit crab.
Get rid of lasers.
Yeah.
It looks like spines from a Histocedarus, a sedarid sea urchin.
Tilt.
We saw one of the sedarid urchins eating one of the black
Trying to hold stable
branching branching black corals the other
for you.
day.
I know. Looking up a little.
And yesterday we saw one eating a sponge.
There, he's sticking his claws out. Oh, I wish I was better. I aimed for this. Sorry.
Yeah, here's like a small little hermit crab.
Sorry, rolling conditions.
Alright, nav, I'm looking at D2 at 45 degrees.
There's a big coral over here.
Pilot ready for
Oh,
another.
here's that nice
15-meter bump,
branching
upslope.
fan-like coral.
Copy that. Same bearing.
This one looks like
195.
Copy.
it could also be either a black coral or a primnoid. It's difficult to tell from this distance.
Good on the lasers.
Lasers coming on.
Okay, video. Coming in partial.
There we go. This one looks like an octocoral, at least from the distance that I can see. It's very much similar to Calogorgia, a primnoid octocoral, very close relative of the one we were just looking at a few moments ago. But I can't quite make out some of the finer details. This area is so current washed that it's often difficult to get a really good close-up, but the colonies are often horizontal, not so much vertical. It makes it difficult.
Has like a pearly color to it.
Yeah. Yeah, so this looks like a primnoid octocoral, probably in the genus Calogorgia.
I'll try to land and stabilize for you.
I think that brittle star we collected the other day, right? The one with the bands.
Yeah, it looks very similar, right?
Tilting up as I land.
Very interesting. Yeah, there's definitely, it's not like what we were seeing yesterday. This area is definitely heading up towards a transition zone. We're still seeing a lot of deep water coral families, this being one of them, but we're also seeing some shallow water coral species like that black coral we were just looking at. We saw numerous colonies yesterday.
Copy that. I wonder if you're approaching this ridge. Maybe they're going towards a little stack.
Oh, you can see the 2 feet, the brittle star.
Yeah,
Oh, here's the small shrimp.
Trying to track it, but it's blowing around a little bit.
Yeah, Calogorgia, there's been a number of recently described species from this area and from the Caribbean generally, the Western Atlantic.
It just blows a different direction.
I think it's thought that there could be many more species left to describe. We sampled a small piece on dive 2.
Yeah, just start rotating right.
Think like a coral would think.
It's very similar looking to this, although those colonies were standing more erect since we were in kind of a lower flow environment, but this is a very nice specimen.
Video's clear.
Pilot's clear.
Thank you.
There's also another branching right behind the white branching. You see it, small? It's just a single branch. It's right above the lasers, Pilot.
The sort of...
It looks like a cone.
Yeah, okay. Go with that. Yeah, you can snap in a quick video. Here we got sponge.
Oh, it's a sponge.
Get a second or two, but I think we can move along.
Yeah, it's a sponge.
Ship should be coming to stop shortly.
Copy that.
Thanks, video.
Thank you, bridge. Move complete.
Here's the other sponge, the tube-looking sponge. There's a sea urchin right to the left. Just got off screen.
Left corner or?
Yeah, left hand.
Lower corner.
Lower corner now.
And about straight down, pilot, but should be stopped.
Copy. Okay, kill the lasers.
Lasers coming off.
Okay, video, come on in. Doesn't look very healthy.
Yeah, tough to tell, right? The tentacles, or rather the spines,
Spines are fully covered.
look a little exposed. Still looks like it's alive, though. You can see it's moving some of its spines very, very subtly.
Look at all the sponges attached to the spines and hydroids.
Pretty good camouflage.
Yeah.
Down.
Yeah, it's moving.
This for a second.
Still alive. This is a siderid. And like other sea urchins, they don't have skin on their spines, so that's why you see hydroids and sponges.
Thanks, pilot. Science is all set.
Great. Well, actually, it's just as a note for you, this section of the bottom has a little significantly lower current.
Okay.
Maybe half the current, coming from a similar direction, but maybe half the current of what we were seeing earlier.
Same direction.
Maybe a little further east, but similar, yeah. Try to line up in it here. Yeah, more like east-southeast now, rather than just southeast.
Big fuzzy top right.
Copy.
Way to rotate a little. Pilot, that might take you just out of my view.
I'll just turn my head and keep myself in your light pool and look that way.
Copy that. I'll stay put.
That way we're not adding any stress, unwanted stress on the tether. Unneeded stress. This is interesting. It's like
Yeah, what is this?
two different types of...
Actually, I wonder if one of those things on top is actually a basket star. The branching is extremely fine, kind of fractal-like.
Alright, I'm going to get rid of lasers.
We will see. Oh,
So fish swimming
Fish.
into it.
Come on in.
yep. It's a basket star.
Never seen
On,
a white basket star. It's
yeah.
really dark.
Yeah, this one has all of its appendages almost fully extended, like it's fishing for something. I wonder what that fish is nibbling on. Maybe the arm tips? Seems to be perturbing the...
Smack zoom.
Yep.
I'll get tighter on the fish then.
Next zoom.
Yeah, so we're looking at a brittle star. Well, a couple of things. We're looking at several different brittle stars. We've got some Ophiacanthid brittle stars as well as some basket stars on this coral. Probably in the genus Chrysogorgia, or sorry, Calogorgia. A Primnoid octocoral.
Let's look at the star basket, or the star in the upper right.
There's also a bunch of other, these tan-colored, brown-colored brittle stars on the Calogorgia as well.
Next zoom.
On the back side, difficult to see at the moment, but there is a large basket star with the central disc kind of out of our view at this moment, but you can see all of its arm tips on top, the very fine structures, the coral in the foreground.
Stabilize.
Just tilt up when you get a chance.
Yeah, stand by. Just trying to get my toe planted again. There we go. It went up anyways. Go a little further. Let's try to get the basket star ends.
We saw one of these the other day. It was not quite as the arms weren't quite as erect as some of the other brittle stars we've seen here today. It was more curled, knotted up like
Just continue
an
down
old
around
pair
if
of
you want.
headphones or something like that. But this one is very much fishing into the currents.
And they have like little spines that help them grab onto anything that's floating, small crustaceans or anything that's floating in the water.
Just continue down. I'm staying on the basket star.
This gives us a pretty good perspective too about how some of these deep water corals are habitat for a lot of other organisms, like in this case fishes, as well as echinoderm associates at all levels of the food web. Corals create a lot of structure, vertical structure in some of these current washed areas that small invertebrates and fishes can take advantage of.
Probably no chance to see its central disc, is there?
I might be able to pick up and look down a little for you.
I think you got to swing around 180.
Let's see. I can't do that, but I can pick up and go a little closer and look down and see if that's going to give us the view you want, or at least some amount of it. Coming in.
These Calogorgia look quite bushy compared to a lot of the Calogorgia we were seeing at similar depths at other sites. It's not clear at the moment if it's due to some sort of variation in growth due to the currents in the area. They're much bushier and less planar than what we were seeing at Vieques or east of Vieques.
Okay, I'll try to hold this. You want to start in?
Tilt up and center.
Yeah, I'm just sneaking in a little
Go
closer.
ahead, Rich.
Pushing ahead. Come up a little more.
Just when you think he's got all his arms extended, there's a lot more left.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you can start to see some of the thorns and spines on the brittle star arms. Some of the arms are wrapped up for, presumably for storage, to keep track of some of the others. I bet these are probably pretty extraordinary animals to see when all of the arms are out and fishing.
That's clear.
There's got to be some sort of methodology it uses to calculate or understand how many arms it can have out at a single time, or if
Or maybe
difficult to
those
tell.
arms are in that have something
Captured
that
food.
captured food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the process of transferring it to the mouth.
Okay, go pilot. Do you want another pump?
Let's see, looking at pilot around
It's in a
5-0.
perfect position to
He's
collect
in
food.
center. Yeah, I think we could do another 15-meter bump. You good with that, pilot? Copy. 5 meters.
Yeah, in contrast, some of these stalked crinoids are,
Sounds good.
their arms are facing down current with their arm tips curled up into the current, whereas the brittle star was, or the basket star was the
Right,
opposite way around, directly facing into the current. Differences in feeding strategies, most likely. Interesting.
But I wonder it's also because it's stalked. If if it was facing the other way, it would be, the mouth would be up in the air, and it would most likely be bent over to where it's not collecting. If you think about it, if the stalk is being pushed down, you could at least have your arms up in the air. The other way around, the arms would be facing towards the bottom. The stalk.
Yeah.
Maybe the position of the stalk.
Come down a little
Because
bit
if you look at
just
the
to
ones that are not stalk, they're facing the current.
Okay, you can snap in. Just for a quick glance. Trying to
This is a clear sponge
keep it in view.
Clear.
that we were seeing a lot
Copy. Come out
yesterday's
partial
dive,
here,
during
something up top
yesterday's
here.
dive.
I thought I saw a little more. Come out a little more, just see if I can catch a view of it. Oh, I thought I saw a fish.
I was thinking we were going to maybe see some more stylastards.
Yeah, it's got a few here. Not as abundant as yesterday.
Urchin, a little yellow coral.
We've already seen the orange yellow.
Okay.
Maybe a snap on the urchin though.
All right. Scan with the lasers.
Lasers coming off.
Okay. Good. Snap in video.
Is there a brittle
It's
star on
brittle
that?
stars. 2 brittle stars.
As soon as you think you're stable. Going a little further.
Can if you want it.
Barnacles and sponges.
Yeah, brittle stars seem to be attaching to anything they can. I've never seen them attached to a sea urchin before.
Guess any way to get some height, huh?
Yeah, or a free ride.
Technically, they're family, so you know.
Next video. This looks like that sponge from the previous dive.
I think this is the
Collect.
sponge.
Lights coming on.
This
The-
one,
yeah, the
that
black
we
ones?
wanted to sample. No, the other day,
the cone.
cone one, yeah, and the purple
This
one
one's
next
much
to it.
larger than the last one.
Yeah, this is significantly larger.
Lasers coming off.
Thank you.
I recall us seeing this the other day, and we tried to sample it, and it is so light that kind of just fell off.
Come on in, video.
I think that's the one.
Yeah,
Sieve plate and all.
sea plate. Oh,
Oh, there's another small octocoral as well to the right. Yeah, I think this is the largest colony we've seen so far. I mean, oof, this one's going to be
with the current.
a bit hairy with the current. But Pilot, what do you think about sampling this cone-shaped sponge?
Yeah, given that it's much larger than the other one we tried, it would probably be a lot easier than the other ones I've seen.
Should
And
stop right now.
Should certainly be able to grab it in the jaws without losing it.
Yeah, I think that would be ideal.
Okay.
If we could sample this.
Sounds good.
Or stopped.
Copy
As
that.
close to the base as you feel comfortable, I think.
Okay. Settling in here.
Alright. Pilot, ship stopped. I have you at about 6-0. Should be about done swinging. I'll put in a decent delta. What drawer gas would you like?
Yeah, we can go with the starboard side. I think that I'll be able to
Starboard
grab
copy.
the firm stem and hold the
Starboard
story.
buyout is extended. That pin's extended. I will put up Mini Zeus for you. Permission to take Mini Zeus control.
Yeah, absolutely.
Copy.
Thank you.
I'll center up unless you want me to follow you out.
Oh yeah, you center up. That's fine.
You're centered.
Thank you.
Might
The
be
hydraulics.
Hydraulics are up.
Okay.
Looks like a similar slope, so I might not be able to open drawer all the way.
Okay. That's
Copy.
all right. Yeah. If I have a good grip on it, we can. I'd much rather try to sneak it into the drawer than get up and be blowing away in
I agree.
the breeze. So, but we'll see how it goes. I can like try to pick up and land sideways and fight the current sideways, but that might be tricky as well. So
Yeah.
we'll see. See what we can do. If I can't get it stowed, we'll come up with something trickier. Arms on. Indexing. Not too low. Okay, closing slow. Okay, secured it.
Looks good. Let me know when you're ready. This is for starboard box.
Yeah, I'm clear.
Extending drawer, slow. Alright. That's as far as I can go.
Okay.
Let me come down to your Mini Zeus.
Thank you. Let's see how much room I have here. Oh yeah, that looks good.
Do you want any light adjustments?
Video might appreciate it if you can make it happen, yeah.
Do you want to do it while you're sticking your arm in? I don't want to mess you up.
No, you won't.
Copy that. Just gonna stick up or down.
Might pause a second just while you do that.
How's that?
That's good. Yeah.
Coming over with Mini Zeus a little more. And I'm stopped there.
Copy. The current is no matter how much I spin the hand, it won't come around. There we go. Lowering into the box. Try not to. still on top.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I got to adjust a little bit. Just leave this like it is for now. I'm just going to try walking my heading. Well, I guess that's not really something I can do.
Yeah. Solid bottom, you can try auto XY.
Okay.
Just spitball. Good altitude lock. It does have a
What's
constant.
What's your camera angle at? 66?
66.
I think I'm going to try landing sideways.
Okay, copy that. Do you want to keep this up, or do you want that up to maneuver?
Keep what up?
Do you want mini Zeus up, or do you want to look at?
Oh yeah, I want to keep an eye on what's going on with that guy.
Copy.
Just in case.
Yep.
Okay, coming out of auto heading. Okay. Try lock. Picking up.
I'll keep you centered in Cirrus cam.
Thank you. Okay, lock in auto heading. Take that out of the equation. And drop down. Too hard. Can you bring the port wing inboard?
Yeah. Port wing coming inboard.
Thank you. Stabilizing. Dry lock in. Okay, that looks good.
Alright, I'm going to extend drawer.
Just keep an eye on how much it's, as you extend the drawer, if it's a little more drag, if it spins me around or something.
Copy that. Coming out slow.
That looks good. Awesome.
Yeah, all looks good.
Okay, that's plenty of room, I think.
All
Hopefully I can
stopped.
get this guy in here now.
Looks like he's nicely sinking now. Yeah, I think the head is just about in.
I'm rubbing against the wall of the box.
Yeah.
Okay, below the level of the box now. With the head. Just gonna let go briefly here and see if I can make sure it trends in the right direction. Yeah, dropping.
He's on the floor.
Great. Okay, clear.
Tracting. All looks good. Put
Nice.
Port.
Thanks, co-pilot. Oh, and you remember to fix the arm. Pro move.
You stick your wing back outboard.
Arm secure.
Copy that. Ramping down hydraulics. HV's off. I'm going to center mini Zeus.
Sure.
So just be careful as you come out of autos.
Okay.
It'll start to...
So as I come out of autos, just fight it towards the north?
So
I mean,
first thing
towards
you can
the
do is, you
east.
don't, so you want to counterbalance it and then just kind of rotate into it.
Okay.
So you can center with Sirius, and then that'll make it easier to go against the current. When it's
Okay,
hitting
so
you
I'm
broadside,
gonna try to match
affects you a lot more.
that. So you're rotating. Okay, so coming out of J-lock. All right, so that's good. All right, so applying some rotation, then auto heading off. Okay, that looks fine. Let's come up a little bit.
Yep, doing good, looks good.
Do you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
All right, sounds good.
So, pilot, at around 12 o'clock, there's a purple bushy something just to the left of where that sponge used to be.
That one up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we look at that?
Yep.
Jeff, while I have you too.
It's a little bit of
shimmering
water, usually indicative of some sort of thermocline. Did we need to get more zooms of the green eye? Or
We can, as soon as we zoom, I think close to this, we'll probably see the green eye.
okay.
Yeah. I think there were two swimming around this area when we were collecting the sponge.
Okay, let's come in video.
This looks really fleshy.
Hold right there.
Oh, looks like a black coral.
Yeah, I think it's a black coral. Another heterocarpus too down below.
Okay, come in.
Do we have some water coming out of this hole or something? There's some definite shimmering going on.
No, it's the current coming down. Maybe it's...
Current doesn't usually do this unless there's a different salinity. or
Yesterday,
temperature
yeah, I think it's a temperature difference. Yesterday we were seeing the same thing.
So this looks like a black coral. I would estimate this is probably
Could you,
Antipathes
co-pilot, please?
from what's known from the area.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry, video. Let's partial out. And then co-pilot can tilt down.
There are a couple things. Euplectillid sponges. There's another sponge
Okay, you can come in video. Unstable.
to the left of the black coral.
Trying to rotate. Hold. Are we looking at the
coral
sponge?
above.
Okay, so you can
The
rotate up.
branching, yeah.
Okay, holding right there.
Let's try the extra lights.
Very nice. I think it's definitely Antipathes, not one we recognize though. To the species level, that would require a collection.
Are those look like, are they shrimp? The small?
Yeah,
It's
very
hard to
small
see.
shrimp. Yep.
Is
Oh,
that
here's
full
a-
zoom video?
Yes, it is.
Looks like a squat lobster.
I wonder what this sac is on the left-hand side, if it's just mucus or
Okay,
what.
that's fine.
Okay, thanks very much.
Copy. Alright, video. Do you want anything else? Do you want to take a
They wanted the fish and the shrimp.
Maybe a
Okay.
closer look at the
co-pilot?
fish.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice profile on the fish here. You can see the fins very well.
Rotating.
A little tilt up. Let's get both the shrimp and the fish.
It's like being in a dream. The shimmering.
So this gives us a good perspective of the carbonate rock we're looking at here. It looks like a bunch of smaller stony structures as well, possibly stylastrids or stony coral rubble in the bottom of this hole.
Video's clear.
Okay, we can come out whenever you're ready. Okay. Thank you. Rotating up, video.
Lights clear.
Copy. Thank you.
Looks like something big right
taking
here.
off. Pushing out.
Look left.
Left.
Yep, something big. Maybe not so much.
Just a couple sponges. Okay. Still want to go peek at that?
Oh, no, that's okay. I thought these were like together, but once we panned over, there's two separate sponges.
Yeah. It is quite steep here. Probably the steepest of the dive so far. For shoreside scientists, if you're following along on the dive plan, we're approaching waypoint. We should be there in a couple of moves or so.
Do we want to take a look at the sea star or the sponge signs?
I think we're okay.
Yeah, we've made a pretty good idea on most of these platy sponges, probably Facalia.
Okay, let's come in.
Maybe the red sea star might be interesting.
Hold right there. And then,
Or hermit crab.
as long as you want video.
Hermit
let me
crabs
know
are
when
nice
you're
too.
Mm-hmm.
Rotating up. Trying to keep it in
Oh, it
view.
has a zoanthid on its shell,
Rotating up.
or some type of cnidarian,
Anemone, maybe?
maybe.
So many different mollusks. You actually see more mollusk shells on other animals than you do on the mollusks themselves sometimes.
Yeah, we haven't seen many gastropods, but I think they're also really small. Once we zoom in, we start seeing some of the smaller animals.
Pretty hard to control the camera with the current. I might ask you to control it for me quite a few times, Copilot. Okay. Copy.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a fraction of the sediment we have at other sites at this site. It's been pretty smooth the whole entire time. Only in the deepest of these dissolution or erosional ruts do you see
That's affirmative.
any sort of soft sediment. Not really enough to have a community, but a lot of debris made up of pteropod shells and other small 4M shells and coral debris. Not quite the amount of soft bottom you might need to see sea pens, for example. It's pretty hard stuff here.
There's the green eye guy floating. I think they've seen him enough.
It's like another one of those green eyes.
Coming up.
Those are the only fish that we've seen so far. Oh no, another
The one inside the coral colony.
inside the coral colony.
No bigger fishes though. None of the snappers and groupers that we saw yesterday.
Yeah, and this area is known to be pretty popular fishing spot
0.5.
for the snappers and groupers.
Yeah.
One, the small one.
It was at 1 knot, a little over 1 knot this morning. Yeah, so it's been slowly dying off. So hopefully might be shallow enough. That trend might follow down here. But then would it be really bad when you get to the top? Oh, good. I liked how.
Can we snap zoom on this urchin? I think this is a different species of sedarid that we've been seeing.
What was that?
To just
right here, yeah.
yes.
What was that, Nav? Be ready for some more current. Okay. All right. Okay.
So this is also a sedarid sea urchin. This
Hopefully.
is Histos sedaris. It's a little bit different from the sedarin that we saw before because it has these spines on these spines on the spines. These thorny spines.
Serrations.
Serrations.
Yeah. It's moving. Huh?
It looked like there was a brittle star. You see the arm that broken off?
Maybe.
Yeah. Interesting.
Souvenir, maybe.
Souvenir.
Maybe the brittle star doesn't think so.
He did not want family time.
Yeah. I mean, he asked for a hand, but come on, really. This one's relative to the speed of sea urchins. This one's really, really moving.
Copy. Nav.
He has that extra arm to help him along.
Okay. Are we good, science?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We can come up.
making fun of
Just
the sea urchin.
making jokes of the sea urchin. Time to move along.
Lifting
We
up.
need some fish.
Tilting up.
So far we've collected one extremely large tunicate that was unusual, that we've never seen before. We've also collected a cone-shaped sponge, possibly in the euplectellid group. Interestingly, a great example of telepresence technology. This was a sponge that was suggested to us from some of our shoreside scientists who noticed this sponge over the past few days, and we were able to collect a fairly large specimen of it today, which is great. So they were able to identify something that was new and unusual, and we were able to accommodate and collect that specimen so that we could advance our knowledge of sponge diversity and species distribution in the area.
I wonder what these stalks were that these zoanthids are on.
Yeah, they look pretty solid woody kind of structures. Maybe